We've got a lot to get through today, so let's get started. I sold one of the biggest positions in my portfolio. We're going to go over that. We're going to go over how the portfolio has been performing over the last month, where we've seen pretty significant gains. One of my investments is up by nearly 60% in the last week alone. We'll cover that. We're going to go over tariffs, but let's start by having a bit of a deep dive into the portfolio. So this is my portfolio on Trading 212. This is my portfolio for financial independence. My aim is to reach it by the age I'm 50. One of the things I'm going to cover right now is I am now 8 years away from that. And the sensible advice always says that the closer you get to retirement, the more you need to diversify into bonds because it is more secure. You're less likely to have volatility. Of course, that means you're less likely to see the significant gains that we see in the market. Now, my approach, which is not financial advice, is to do the opposite. I want to stay 100% in equities, in investments, predominantly in ETFs, and I'm prepared for the risk associated with that. I understand that there will be significant drops, and it could mean in the year that I wish to retire that there's a 40% drop, and it means that I'm not going to be able to retire. So if you do want to take that approach, make sure that you're aware that that is the case. It's not for most people, but that's the one route that I'm going to take. I'm going to have a cash buffer in place maybe for a year or so, just in case that happens, but that's the approach I'm going to take. Right, so here we are. We're way up versus where we were before. So let's look at the, first of all, 1 day view. So it's a Sunday at the moment, so obviously it's a 0% movement. But in terms of the week, we're up 3.5% now. In a £120,000 portfolio, that represents over £4,000. The month view is very tasty indeed. 9.2% up over the course of the last month. It is going in one direction. As you'll see, there's a bump there in the dotted line. That means that I put an investment in. We'll cover that shortly. The 3-month view is still not quite so good. So we're still 4.1% down on 3 months. So clearly we've still not reached the highs of where we were before. But look at it. It's still on the recovery, and I'm a long-term investor. It doesn't mean I'm going to liquidate my portfolio by the time I'm 50. I'll be keeping this for decades. So these bumps in the road just represent buying opportunities for me. The 1 year view, then we're up again. So we're 9.4% up over the course of the last year. Now, this is on paper because I haven't sold these investments, so it is just on paper. And when we look at the max view, I'm back at nearly 45% up. So I started in January 2020 and a 44% return over the course of 5 years. I'll take it. That, of course, doesn't include the gains I made elsewhere in different ISAs and incorporated them in here. In reality, I'm probably closer to around 70-80% up, but it's very hard to track because I move stuff around so much. So first of all, clearly these gains have been made over the last month because the US and China have come to an arrangement in terms of tariffs. That means they're going to be reduced by 115% versus where they were, which is just ridiculous, even that amount. And this is just for 90 days, of course. So it has created some stability in the short term, but the fear indicator, the one that the New York Wall Street used, has come back to a place where people are feeling a little bit more confident. And that means that we've seen some growth, some significant growth, 10% nearly over the course of the last month. But what we need to bear in mind is, what does this mean in 3 months' time when this arrangement has come to a close? So we need longer term stability if we're going to get back to the levels we were at the beginning of the year. We've also seen an interest rate cut by the Bank of England over the course of the last week or so. That means that we're going to be getting less interest on our cash. So for me, that means more reason to be investing. I have very little in cash personally. Again, this isn't the advice you should be taking, but that's the route that I take. I've got pretty much all of my capital invested into the market. So in terms of my ISA allowance, then so far I've deposited £9,500. I've still got £10,500 to go. I need to try and find that over the course of the next 10 months in order to be able to try and max out my ISA. That's the goal this year. That's the number one goal. Given the circumstances I've been through, anyone that hasn't seen my portfolio, any of these videos before, I have recently gone through redundancy. So all of my income is going to come from you guys watching this, so I really appreciate it. So that's the circumstances I'm in now. I don't have a regular income. I don't have that paycheck coming. That's really going to hurt on the 28th of May when nothing comes in. But we're going to try and do everything we possibly can to try and max out the ISA. We'll have a look at the financial independence tracker as well, just to see how we're tracking against that, see if we're still on target to try and meet the goal that I need to meet. So let's start with the biggest investment I have, which is in the Invesco All World. I've got £58,000, £485 in there. That has now gone to nearly 9% up. At one point, I was around 10% down over the course of the last 2 months or so. So it's really significantly pulled back. Now, I use FTWG, which is the distribution version of that fund. That means that I get a dividend. I just do that because I like the dividends. I have to reinvest them myself manually, but it's something that I enjoy doing. For most people, an accumulation version will probably be best. The accumulation version of this fund is FWRG. S&P 500 up over 20% now. Again, I was down on that by about 5%. So the gains that we are seeing are ridiculous over the course of the last month. Incidentally, I had loads of comments at the beginning of April from people saying, this is it, I'm selling out. I can't handle this volatility. I didn't know that this was going to happen. And my only message to people like that is, I understand, because if you're a new investor, it was a terrifying time. But unfortunately, that just means that you didn't do your research. You weren't psychologically in a place where you could deal with this sort of volatility. So make sure before you get started, you understand that that is the case. Because if you sold out right at the bottom, and we've seen significant gains over the course of the last month, you've missed out on all of them. You've missed out on the most significant gains going. The biggest gains in the market usually come after we see a massive decline. It's the best time to stay in the market. Now, in the long term, I have high hopes. I have a high belief that my all world, my S&P 500 is going to continue to grow. Whether it will do so at 9-10% like we've seen in the past, I don't know, but I will keep holding whatever happens. We're not going to go into every single position I have, but just quickly, so my biotech is down by 9% nearly. I was around 10% up on that, so that has not recovered. That is predominantly US healthcare businesses, so that's really struggled. Realty income, that's always been in the red for me. Microsoft has seen massive gains over the course of the last month. I think about 20-odd%. Legal in general, still a little bit down, but we've got a dividend coming on that I'll cover. Now, Lloyd's, I'm 61% up on that, which is ridiculous, given I invested into it 2 years ago. For a UK bank to increase by 60% is very, very rare. I don't anticipate we'll see the same sort of gains in the near future, but because that's a dividend play for me, that means I'm really happy because my yield is really good. I'm going to continue to get those biannual dividends from Lloyd's, and I'm pretty sure I'll be holding that for a very long time. Aviva also, I've got a big dividend coming. We'll cover shortly. Apple, I've just had a dividend from them. So what you'll notice here probably is there's something missing if you've ever seen my portfolio before, and that is Tesla. So I sold out of Tesla. So I bought Tesla in March 2020. I bought it really cheap. I only put 200 quid in because I was right at the beginning of my investment journey. I didn't even really know what I was doing. I just fancied it. Right, that grew to 1,800 quid. But that was an 8-bagger for me. Those are pretty rare in the portfolio. And I think it's really important to take gains when you can. So if you see significant growth in a position, always have an exit strategy. If you are going to invest into individual businesses, now clearly 200 quid in a £120,000 portfolio is not a significant allocation. It wasn't £120,000 back then, of course, but it was speculative and I got lucky with it and I've sold out. And so I've sold out at £1,800, and here's the transaction here, £1,789, sold out. And what did I buy in? I bought it into my all world, of course. So my approach is, if I am going to invest into individual businesses, I get good gains from them. What I like to do is sell out. I did it with Rolls-Royce, where that was nearly a 10-bagger for me. I sell out of it. I use those gains to put into my all world. If that means then that year on year, I can increase my percent gain by 1-2%, that's going to make a massive bloody difference by the time I come to retire. So a 1% difference in terms of growth or losses in your portfolio will, by the time you retire, if your time horizon is long, have a 25% impact on your portfolio. So if you've got 1% fees, for example, that means that by the time your portfolio is done, you're going to have 25% less in there than if you weren't paying those 1% fees. Again, if you get a 1% gain, that means you're going to have 25% more in your portfolio by the time you come to realize it than if you didn't. So that's the approach that I take. Again, not investment advice. Gotta keep saying that one. Another one I want to call out is Virgin Galactic. Let's click on that. So I am, if we look here, still 83% down. One of the worst investments I've ever done. The value of that is now only £23. I used to do a lot of content on this because I was really fascinated with the business. I love everything space, etc. So again, it was a gamble. It was a play. It was a few quid. I didn't mind losing it. And it hasn't worked out as well as some of the others. So I'm 83% down. But have a look at the 1 month view. It's 90% up in a month. It's just bloody ridiculous. The reason it is up so much, of course, is because they beat expectations on their earnings report in the last couple of weeks. They were expected to have a minus EPS of, I think, around $2.30. They ended up with a positive earnings per share of $2.86. The revenue was supposed to be around $230,000. It ended up being $480,000. This is despite a 77% decline in sales. So we've seen a 90% increase. Now, it was even more than that. You can see the peak there, but I do not hold any hope for this business. I don't think that we're going to get back. If you look at the max view, where was it? So we're at $4.86 before $1,000. We're not going to get to there. That's not going to happen, right? If anything, I think that this business potentially could still go under. I think the mismanagement from the top, the share dilution, I think it's an absolute car crash of a business. and I wouldn't be putting a penny in now, which I haven't done for a very long time anyway. I've got 23 quid in there. I use it as a reminder. I'm always going to leave it in there as a reminder until it goes bust and it disappears, as a reminder, all right, of to not be an idiot with these things. I've got some really juicy dividends upcoming. Let's get into stock events and have a look at them. This is stock events. Let's just go to the home screen. So it tells me, it's a free app, by the way. I'm not affiliated in any way. There's no kickback you can get for using it because it's free. Just search for it in the App Store. You do have to put all your portfolio in. It's about 15 minutes worth of admin at the beginning, but I really value it. So this tells me that over the course of the next 12 months, I can anticipate to get around £2,300 in dividends. That from a monthly basis is 200 quid, which daily is £6.38. So an extra £6.38 per day I'm going to be making in my portfolio just by doing nothing. That is the truest for dividends for me, are the truest form of passive income. They're the only form of passive income that exists because you do the work up front, you work out which businesses you want, it takes very little admin from there, and then you get paid for it. It's glorious. So over the course of the next 3 weeks, I'm going to get some of the biggest dividends that I've received. Lloyds Bank's going to pay me £73.47. Every single dividend I receive will get reinvested back into that business. Aviva's going to pay me £88.54. And the big one here is going to be Legal and General, £208.13. So whilst I'm down by 3%, in that position, Legal and General pays an enormously tasty dividend. It does so twice a year. The big one is this one that's coming up on the 5th of June. And there is a second one in September, which is slightly smaller. That will get reinvested back into that business. And so long as they continue to do what they're doing, again, it's another business I'll hold for a very long time. So I'll quickly go over the dividend tracker so we can see here. In April, I made £130.74. That was predominantly from a couple of ETFs that I had and realty income, which comes in every single month. May has started quietly and it will finish quietly. £2.08 from Apple and £13.63 from realty income. Now, June is always historically the biggest month in my portfolio. And this year will be as big as ever. Here's the chart of the previous years. As you can see, June always spikes. It always goes through the roof. But the trend line of this chart is going... stupid. The trend line of this chart is going in a direction I very much like. Starting to see that whip from the exponential growth that occurs when you invest into dividends. Now, it'll be a long time before it properly does what I want it to do, but I'm happy with it. This is my financial independence tracker. So I wanted to get to £580,000 by the time that I was 50. And what I've done is I've created this tracker. The blue line is where I need to be in order to keep in line with that aspiration. And the orange line is where I'm actually at. So I've just updated my numbers for the last month. I'm back now where I was in February, given the gains that we've had, as well as some significant deposits. So it's taken me £9,500, as well as some significant gains to get back to where I was. This is a long game, right? We are going to see this orange line not just continue like the blue line does. It will drop below the blue line at certain points. It will be way above it at certain other points, and I'm prepared for that. But as long as it tracks close enough to it, I'll be relatively happy. Worst case scenario, it will fall way behind it. And I'm aware that that is the risk as well. We could see a decade of poor increases. And that just means I'm going to need to reevaluate my approach. So it is a stretched approach and there is risk associated with it, but it's one that I'm happy with. Given that I'm doing this full time now, what I am thinking of doing is creating this as a digital product and selling it for a few quid, not very much. Making a video to tell people how to use it, and giving access to all of the bits, the dividend tracker, the financial independence tracker, the charts in terms of the growth and the dividends, all of that sort of good stuff. So if there's something you're interested in, I will put the work in to make it better, to make it look a little bit more jazzier, to create the video in order to help people understand how to use it. So just let me know if you are interested in it, and I'll get that built. We'll finish on this. This is my page a day dad joke I got for Christmas. People who rob banks or jewelry stores are pretty bad. But people who rob bakeries take the cake. It's all in the delivery. Sorry about that. Right, thanks for watching. If you are new to Trading 2 and 2, of course, you can get a free fractional share from the link in my bio. All you need to do is deposit £1. You can use promo code Neil. And if you want to see the ultimate guide on how to use Trading 2 and 2, all of the tips and tricks, most of this stuff you won't know. It'll really help you to get started using that app. Watch this video here. Any questions, let me know.